Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I want to talk about asking for permission. So I know a lot of photographers come up to me and tell me that they have a awkwardness with photographing people, or they don't want to be offensive in any way. They don't want to make it so that the people are threatening in any way if I take their picture. So I have a solution. Ask permission. Everybody you shoot, go out on a shoot, and everybody you meet, ask permission. It would be an interesting assignment to see what you come up with. I'll put a photograph in the links below. I was walking by a building in Washington, D.C., and there were a lot of guards outside. And I didn't know what building I was next to. Well, it turns out it was the Department of Justice. And there were 4 or 5 guards in white shirts standing there protecting the entrance. And I thought, oh, that would be a good photograph. And I had my 20 on. And I said to the guard who's the closest to me, I go, hey, can I get a picture? And then he kind of didn't say yes or no. He just sort of nodded. I picked the camera up. The rest of them looked like they were like, oh, what's going on? But they're working for us. And I feel like just want to document the way the Department of Justice looks in 2019 and how we guard it. And that's a photograph that'll have value for historical purposes. And it's not the kind of thing where you can take too much time. Everybody is like kind of like looking at you. What are you doing? But with that 20 up and back button focus, it was like, hey, can I get your picture? Pick the camera up, take a picture, and then move on. And some of it is you must be quick, but some of it is ask for the permission that allows you to be comfortable taking the pictures that you want to take. Certainly anybody in government I feel comfortable with, because I know that, we have a relationship where, yes, you are protective, but you're also working for us, and we all are paying for government. So I don't feel like that's something that you can't ask for. If they ever say you can't take pictures, well, you have to be mindful that you can get into some trouble if you violate what they're telling you. They may tell you can't take pictures from a public street. It's probably not accurate because you can shoot anything from a public street. But they may tell you not to do something, and you may choose to not get into it with them. And that's a fair thing to do too. But there is so much about creating what permission allows. I was walking through the Boulder Farmers Market with a friend who's a photographer, amateur photographer, hobbyist photographer. And he said, I don't understand how you can photograph people. So I said, well, just go up to anybody that you see and photograph them and ask them first. And so he saw a woman working in a booth. He goes, hey, can I take your picture? And she stopped and smiled. And he asked a guy who's cooking, hey, can I take your picture? And he, sure, go ahead, kept cooking. And people are completely willing. There is an old story that you may have heard, maybe even from me. If you go out and your goal is to go out and photograph people, ask them permission, and you can only stop when you get 10 no's. A lot of people can't get 10 no's. Most people will say, okay. You might have to have a reason. It might help to say, hey, I'm photographing a project on the farmer's market. Hey, I'm photographing, I'm traveling. I'm just documenting the town that I'm visiting. Hey, I am doing a school project. Hey, I'm doing a Roy Stryker project. Whatever your personal reason is, they may ask, what's it for? And they may be glad to contribute, and they will be. Actually, they will be. It's hard to get a no when you ask permission. But that's something that I think a lot of people don't try because they assume that people don't like photographs. But they do. It's almost flattering to say, look at all the people out here and you picked me. I'm one of them. I'm the one that you want. It's like there was an old story on NPR about a crazy person who would stand down by the train in New York City, and he would every morning walk down the line of people waiting for the train going, you're in, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're in. And he would just walk the whole line doing that. Randomly saying you're in and you're out. And the person telling the story said, when he came to you, he kind of hoped you were in. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, there are stories out there. People do funny things, odd things. You just want to be chosen sometimes. Hey, you picked me for your photograph. I'm glad to be a part of it. Somebody wants me. It's flattering to be, a part of that. And the people that look the scariest are usually not. And the people who look ordinary can be. There's no rhyme or reason. Don't use any, generalizations about who I can approach. You can approach anybody. Everybody has the same want to be included and be a part of something. And if you say, hey, can I take your photograph? It's not like you're asking them for hours of their time. And people will say yes. Permission is granted. And it's our job to go out and ask for it. You can shoot without it if you're shooting street, but if you're shooting and you want to get permission or it makes you more comfortable, then ask for it. All right, that's today's photography talk on permission. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. I'll put some links below. You can support, hit the Patreon. And thanks so much for watching. Here's the good shooting. Here's the good light.